Hey friends, what's up? Philip here with Points of Philip, and I'm here because Citi has, completely broken the mold with how to positively answer a customer service issue. And so we're going to talk about something that Citi is apparently doing. So we're seeing a couple data points on Reddit and on other places, and even some Discord posts as well, where Citi's really kind of fixing a huge problem that they have with their new Citi Strata Elite. So we're going to get into what Citi's doing, what the problem is, and what's going on. But before we do that, I want to ask you guys to like and subscribe. Doing that helps me and YouTube know that what I'm doing is helpful for people like you. And in doing that, that helps more and more people view the content. So I really appreciate your support and your help there. All right, now that that's get out of the way, let's get into the news. So the news here is that Citi, a couple days ago, there was a Wall Street Journal article, and you can talk about it in this video here, where I talk about the news. So in the Wall Street Journal article, it was talking about the lack of satisfaction that a lot of premium travel credit card customers are experiencing when it comes to Citi Strata Elite. And so this card, for those of you that didn't see that video or read the article, essentially, basically, they really had a issue where they were basically shutting down accounts, and people who had just recently applied to the card had to call for a number of days. They had to figure out what the problem was, and then they had to figure out how to mail essentially an IRS verification form to back to Citi to fix the issue. And so basically, a lot of people were talking about the fact that a lot of their Citi cards were shut down. They had to talk to customer service for hours and hours on end. And they also were losing out on their ability to actually earn the sign-up bonus, right? And so this was kind of a key point, because the problem with having your card shut down, right? If you have a sign-up bonus that you're working for over a very limited time period, I think it was 3 months. And so, in order to be able to earn those 100,000 Citi points, that kind of makes a big deal when it comes to actually getting this card. Now, Citi has decided to do the insanely positive thing, and I'm going to give it to them, right? Citi did the right thing here. So they're doing two things. So they're emailing out users, and the first thing that they're doing is they are automatically refunding the full annual fee of any credit card that was shut down due to this particular security issue. And so essentially what that means is if your card was shut down, you had to deal with all this, you don't have to pay an annual fee for the first year. That means $595 is being refunded to your account by Citi. And that's happening per account, right? Per account that got shut down. So that's huge, right? So I think that if I held the card, and to be honest, the only reason I don't hold the card is because Citi doesn't like how many applications I've made this year. This is huge, right? If I was holding this card and I had my card shut down and I had to go through all this stress, this would go a long way towards me thinking that Citi was legitimately trying to fix the problem. But Citi goes so much further in this. So what they do is they have decided to credit any of these accounts with the full sign-up bonus that they signed up for without having to meet the spend requirement. And so what that means is, basically, if your card got shut down and you were thinking that you were really close to meeting that spending requirement, or even if you were further away and you can't do it because the card shut down, when that card reopens, you're getting a $595 credit for the annual fee, and you're getting 100,000 points if you signed up with the 100,000 point offer. This is huge, folks. This is Citi breaking the mold when it comes to how to handle negative press. So this is crazy. So we haven't seen a big bank reverse course like this quickly in a while. And so again, like, this is apparently, according to multiple sources on Discord and on Reddit, Citi is actually proactively reaching out to people and giving them a refund on the annual fee and a refund on the points, or at least they're giving them the sign up bonus, which is huge. So this is kind of crazy. So I did say a lot of things about Citi, and I do mean them in my last video. Citi customer service is known for not being in your corner. When you have to kind of be on the phone multiple days, right, to fix one problem, that's a problem, right? But the fact that Citi is willing to invest this much money into fixing this problem means that they may be willing to invest more money into fixing a lot of the larger, kind of more systemic problems. So we're going to have to see what happens, but this is huge. Okay, so now that we got the news out of the way, I want to talk about the Citi Strata Elite again. So I was pretty harsh, and deservedly so, of Citi's entire system, but I do want to kind of reemphasize the fact that the only reason I don't have the Citi Strata Elite is because they wouldn't give it to me. And so maybe I have a little bit of, bad blood. Like, I really want this card. Like, the credits are fine. The credits are not like anything to say, shake a stick at, right? The Black Lane credit, I could definitely find an easy use for that, right? I have used a couple of private driver services whenever my wife and I travel overseas, and being able to get that full Black Lane credit of $100 off of that would go a long way. That's essentially a free ride from Heathrow into central London, right? That's a huge deal. I don't think that that's bad. The splurge credit, it's unique, right? It is something that essentially allows people to, pick their poison, right? They could do for concert tickets. They could do it for a new computer. They could use it for American Airlines seats, right? There are so many ways to use this splurge credit that it's actually pretty interesting. I'm pretty interested in it. It's very similar to the Amex dining credit, where they have multiple vendors are kind of buying into this credit, and you can kind of choose your own adventure there. But that one's on a monthly basis, whereas this splurge credit is essentially something that you have access to the entire year. So you can blow that in one purchase if you'd like. So these credits with the Citi card, they're good. Now, again, my only problem is when you're traveling overseas and you need to have a backup card if you're carrying the Citi Strata Premier or the Citi Strata Elite, because Citi, whenever they do decide to shut you down, you've shut down. You are shut down. There's nothing that can be fixed about that while you're overseas. And so if this is a problem for you, you need to have something as a backup, right? And so this is why I usually travel with the Capital One setup, because I have the Capital One Venture and the Capital One Saver card. These are really nice cards to have for that sort of thing, because Capital One is really good with managing fraud overseas. If there's a purchase that they're not really sure about, they'll text you. You'll say, yes, you've decided to make it, and then you're fine. This, Capital One knows how to do it. Citi, their fraud verification system is a little archaic. At least it feels like that as kind of an outside consumer. And so, to be fair, there are problems with Citi, but the fact that they're willing to do this is huge. Like, the fact that they're willing to go through and they're going to say, we're going to take ownership, we're going to fix this problem, we're going to give you everything we promised you and more, right? I definitely would be less likely to close this account next year. If this were my only kind of, premium travel card, yeah, absolutely. That would be huge. Now, I do say bad things about Citi, right? And deservedly so. I stand behind everything that I've said about Citi. With that said, it's not keeping me from using their cards. It's not keeping me from wanting more of their cards. Do I want the American Airlines World Executive card? Absolutely, right? That card with its unlimited American Lounge access. There's not really many other reasons to hold the card. Yes, I would love to do that. My wife and I have started flying American a little bit more, and just because of Alaska points, usually, honestly. And their customer service is great. American Airlines customer service is great. And the lounge access, the lounge network is actually pretty solid. No matter where you go, there's something there. And it's really usually close to the gates, which is also cool too. So, I mean, I will still use my Citi cards. Don't get me wrong. But they're definitely not going to be my primary go-to when it comes to traveling. And so that's kind of at least kind of where I'm at on that front. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this card, and whether or not Citi is doing the right thing. Should they be doing more? What do you think they should be doing? And if you are someone who's been impacted by this, does this change your mind, right? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what this does. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys until next time. Bye.